Yeah. So next one, Randika. Right. So this is a very, now that we've talked about architecture and we've talked about all these other different aspects, I just want to make a really important point about ethnicity. Look, having said everything I've said, it's obvious that Sri Lankans have mixed as well. And this is a sensitive topic for many Sri Lankans, because we have, a lot of us, myself included, have been raised on the narrative of ethnic exclusivity. You're Sinhalese, I'm Tamil, that person's Burger, this person's Malay, this person's Muslim, and so on. But when you look at the evidence that's presented, and even in this presentation, you can see that inevitably we've all mixed. And the best way I can explain this is through a simple family tree. Every time you go up one generation, more and more people become responsible for your existence. So here you can see I'm Jerome right at the bottom, but two people created me, my mother and my father. By the time I get to my grandparents' generation, 6 people created me, 4 grandparents and my 2 parents, right? And by the time I get to my great-grandparents' level, there's those 6 people plus 8 more. Now, don't forget that every time you go up a generation, the population is getting smaller in Sri Lanka, right? And the diversity, as we learned from our first few slides, was really high, over 79 points of origin. So that the chance that every one of these people in my family history was not mixed in any way in a place as diverse as Sri Lanka is implausible. And so what I've had to come to terms with is the fact that we are all mixed in Sri Lanka. And next slide, Randika. The proof of this is in DNA tests, which are now very common. And when you do DNA tests, you often see the diversity of Sri Lanka represented in our DNA. And there's another thing I'd like to point out, a much more simple way of realizing our mixed nature. Just look around at everyone around you. Like, all of you look so different. Look at your skin tones, look at your hair textures, your eye colors, your skin tones, whether or not you have freckles, the shape of your face, the shape of your teeth, all this stuff. Even Randika and I, our birth certificates state that we are Sinhalese. But once we've dug into our family, we've found everything from indigenous history, Scottish history, Sinhala, South Indian history, Northern Indian history. We found Afro-Sri Lankan history, and so on. So really, there's no such thing as, it's very hard to see a Sri Lankan who looks like another Sri Lankan. We don't have a look for Sri Lankans. And that in itself is the evidence of how deeply mixed we are. So we are not just multicultural, we are multi-ethnic. We are very mixed as people. And we think that that's a really important strength of our country and of our people, because there's very few places in the world where you can go and potentially be connected to so many other places just through your own ethnic history. Randika, I think the next bit is yours, isn't it? Food.